ngayon po ay September 29, 9 o'clock na ang gabi. Dito po sa California, nagulat pa nga host. Welcome po sa ating Kumusta Kabayan at magandang tanghali dyan po sa Pilipinas. Alam ko po, busy kayo. Marami ay nanananghalian kayo o kaya ay nagluluto o naghahanda para sa inyong pananghalian. Pero bago ang lahat, mga kabayan, samahan niyo po muna kami dito sa isang oras na programa at kukumustahin po natin ang ating mga kabayan sa iba't ibang bansa at magbibigay syempre po ng mga updates sa atin ang ating pitong volunteer correspondents mula sa iba't ibang bansa, mga kaibigan. At syempre po, excited po kami ni Kabayan Louie dahil meron po tayo napaka-special na panauhin ngayong araw na ito. Sino ba ang gusto pumunta sa New Zealand? Taas ang kamay. Ako yun. Isa yun sa mga bucket list ko, no? Makarating doon. Pero bago ang lahat, mga kaibigan, eto na po, sabi nga ng ating mga viewers, ang kanyang mga fan ay romantiko. Romantiko?
Simpatiko. Nilalagyan mo ng konting simpatiko lang.
Oo, talaga. No? Sino to? Ang ganda, inaayos ko na ngayon pag-pronounce. Yung pala, mali pala. Simpatiko daw. Sabi ng kanyang mga fans. Kaya heto na po, si Simpatiko Kabayan Louie Roa.
Maraming salamat, Kabayan Sarah. Maraming salamat sa mga manonood natin ngayon. Mamaya na po ako mag-share. Ayan. Nag-uumpisa na po ang aking pagkabulol pero excited na po talaga kami na makasama kayo ngayong gabi na to. Actually, Pilipinas is like alas 12, di ba? Makakasabi kami sa inyong pananghalian kaya medyo isang tabi niyo po muna ang Itbulaga, isang tabi niyo po muna ang kabila. Kami po muna ang harapin ninyo kasi bagong-bago po ito, fresh from the oven. Kaya pagbigyan niyo po kami. Isang oras naman po ang show namin kaya pagbigyan niyo po kami. But
hayaan po. Go ahead.
Kabayan Sarah, excited ako talaga kasi gusto ko rin makarating ng New Zealand.
Ako din. Kami ng pang-asawa ko, isa sa mga bucket list namin na makarating sa New Zealand. At ngayon, mga kaibigan, hindi na po natin patatagalin pa dahil alam ko, busy po siya. Marami po siyang mga ginagawa. At isa pa po, talaga pong pinagbigyan niya tayo. Kaya I'm so honored and humbled.
Malakas ka, Kabayan Sarah.
Malakas ang ating mga kababayan sa kanya. Hindi ako Amazon. Ay, mga kabayan, eto na po. Nag-burn out. Sorry po, hindi po ako nakabayad ng kuryente. Ayan. Ang Meralco, ayan. Nasipa ko ang likot, no? Ayan, mga kaibigan. Siya po ang ating Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary. Kabayan Louie, dapat ikaw yata, no? Nahawa ako sa... At syempre po, Philippine Embassy, sa ating Philippine Embassy po, mga kaibigan, sa New Zealand. I-welcome po natin. Tingnan mo naman, napaka-bless natin. Dahil unahang ambassador na naging guest natin dito sa Kumusta Kabayan. Kaya mga kabayan, bonggang welcome si Ambassador Gary Domingo. Hello, Amba kong Amba Gary ang tawag natin sa kanya. So, Amba, welcome to Kumusta Kabayan po.
Hi. Well, Kia ora. Kia ora from Wellington, New Zealand. Magandang gabi, mga kababayan dyan sa US and magandang tanghali po sa mga kababayan natin sa Pinas. And greetings to all our kababayan and friends all over the world. It's a great honor to be with you, Sarah and Louie.
Same here po, Amba Gary. Yeah, thank you so much po. Actually po, marami po ba talagang kiwi sa New Zealand?
Well,
tanong ko.
Yeah, sure. We are yung total population. It's very interesting dahil walang US in the sense na ang total population ng New Zealand ay 5 million. Pero ang bilang ng mga Filipino ay 80,000. So that's exactly the same ratio ng mga Pilipino sa US. Anong total population ng US? Mga 300 million plus. ilang mga Pinoy? Mga 4 million plus.
4 million.
So we're almost 2% population ng New Zealand, almost 2% din sa US, di ba?
US, yeah.
So it's very interesting. And then, ang sabi nila, and which is also true, New Zealand is the test, I'm very blessed. Ako, pinainggitan ako ng mga kasama kong ambassador because, this is the best country for the management of COVID. Although, of course, may konting problema na yon. It's still a favored migration destination, hindi lang para sa Pinoy, pati yung mga Kano. Ang daming nag-inquire, nag-apply. Ayoko magalit si President Biden, but ang daming Kano ang nagtatanong, nag-inquire kung paano mag-migrate sa New Zealand.
At alam mo, Amba, kasi kanina lang napanood ko, yung American citizen siya, pero ngayon, dyan na siya, he decided with his wife na dyan na tuluyang manirahan sa New Zealand. At nakita nila yung kaibahan at talagang senior niya sa kanyang YouTube channel. Pinapanood ko kanina at manghang-mangha ko, lalo kung gustong pumunta dyan.
Alam mo, kabayan, Sarah, meron akong konting sikreto.
Anong sikreto mo?
Kasi ang aking ex-girlfriend na ngayon ay masayang namumuhay kasama kanyang asawa ay nandyan sa New Zealand.
Siguro kaya ka gustong pumunta doon, ano?
Kasi ang ganda naman talaga. Ang ganda ng mga pinapakita niya sa page niya sa Facebook. So I was like curious about New Zealand and higit sa lahat mas malapit sa Pilipinas.
Ganun ba?
'Di ba? Amba mas malapit sa Pilipinas, 'di ba?
Well, kung direct-yung flight, depende kung anong airline, may PAL naman direct. So, 9 hours or pwedeng duman sa Sydney or whatever.
Sa Australia, mas malapit siya, di ba?
Yeah, may direct flight from, nasa Wellington ako, yung capital, pero ang pinakamalaking syudad ay Auckland. But most of the, direct, kung gusto nyo direct flight, 9-10 hours. Hindi masyadong Isang tulugan lang.
Isang tulugan. That's good, di ba?
Pero tama ba yun? Napanood ko kanina, sabi is almost 1 day yung difference from US to New Zealand po, Amba?
Oh yeah, it's tomorrow na. Kasi actually, nalito ako sa invitation niyo. So it's now tomorrow. I mean, we're now Thursday na yun. 5 p.m.
Anong oras na po ngayon dyan?
Alas 5 ng
hapon
of the 30th.
Okay.
Pero mukhang fresh pa rin si Amba, di ba? Parang parang nagigising lang. Tapos
kasi nakaka-inspire naman kayong dalawa.
Lakas bumalik sa atin.
Amba talaga. Amba, kumusta naman po ang ating mga kababayan dyan sa New Zealand?
Generally okay. So, again, one of the best managed countries. Kaya lang, syempre, katulad ng halos lang lahat ng bansa, closed ang border. So, ang pwede lang pumasok ay mga generally New Zealand citizens or permanent residents. Pero may pila-pilahan kasi kailangan sila mag-book ng quarantine and napakahigpit. So actually, that's why actually medyo nababa yung rating because of, actually, it's one of the best countries. It's just that, maraming, syempre, nagko-complain, kahit citizens sila, kailangan sila mag-book ng quarantine slot. That's one reason why, kasi some people say, ay, daya ang New Zealand kasi ang layo at liit. It's not only that. It's not it is very strict from the sasimula. Actually, we were fearing something much worse. Akala namin, noon last year, kasi syempre, lahat ng mga embassy, mga consulate, naghanda to prepare for the worst. Like, as you see, like in the Middle East and other yung ibang bansa, maraming pinapauwi dahil na layoff. Awa ng Diyos, hindi masyadong marami pinauwi. Because, the New Zealand really loves Filipinos and kailangan tayo, nangingailangan tayo, especially mga nurses and caregivers.
Ilan na po ba ang mga overseas Filipino workers dyan, Amba?
Well, let's say overall first, overseas Filipinos. Yung mga may dugong Pinoy, 80,000. About kalahati to 3/5 are already citizens or permanent residents. So technically, when you say OFW, ibig sabihin yon hindi pa citizen. I mean, hindi pa major debate yun. Hindi ako OFW, yung sinasabi niyo ba? So, meaning, but yun nga, yan ang
typical na reaction.
Yun ang pangarap ng lahat ng nagwo-work, halos lahat ng nagwo-work dito, maging citizen or at least permanent resident. So, yun nga, so of the 80,000, siguro mga 20 to 30,000 ay hindi are still on just like work or student visa. Hindi pa, and the vast majority, pinapangarap maging citizen or permanent. Now, ang umuwi is actually quite low. It's only 1,500.
Oh, wow.
And it's only last year, dahil hindi katulad ng, let's say, Riyadh or, other places, the Philippine government had to charter planes. No, hindi kasama kami doon because you didn't, there was no mass, I mean, may konting na layoff, syempre, mayroong undertime, may konting displacement, but the vast majority are staying because they're still needed or nakahanap sila ng ibang trabaho. And in fact, today, the New Zealand government declared na they opened up, kasi nag-close sila, but they are processing again yung mga na-migrants nandito na hindi pa permanent resident, bukas ulit, 165 slots to become permanent resident. So,
wow.
And one thing good is also, napaka-generous ang New Zealand government compared to other governments is the New Zealand government gave subsidies sa mga kumpanya para to buffer their losses sa income. But interestingly, but I have to, and then again, it's a favorite destination, kaya lang, yung sweldo is not as high necessarily, especially sa nurse, as let's say Australia, or US or Canada. Kaya lang, marami pang may gustong pipili nila number one as New Zealand because of the total quality of life. So it's not just the natural scenery, nakikita mo sa video, nakikita mo sa Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's a real scenes. Bukod pa sa yung mga dragon, like when you come visit, hopefully I'm still here kasi pauwi ako next year. Sana mag-abot tayo. I'll tour you sa, like there's yung Hobbiton, yung barangay ng mga Hobbit, yung mga short people. That's a real place. It's called Mata-Mata, where very green. And then before, there were technically more sheep and cows. Kasi yun nga, isang malaking, actually pinakamalaking export ng New Zealand is dairy. Like alone, nag-import tayo ng almost like $500 million. New Zealand dollars ng gata. Lahat tayo lumaki sa Angkor.
Oo nga pala, no? Oo nga.
But ang export natin talaga is our people. But we also, at least yung mga saging and pinya na sariwa na sa supermarket ay galing Pinas.
Wow.
But really our footprint is our people. We are so loved and appreciated dito sa New Zealand.
Wow, nakakatuwa naman po malaman yan, Amba. At kumusta naman po, Amba? Mayroon po bang mga trabaho, opportunity dyan para sa mga nag-iisip na mag-apply, magtrabaho dyan po? Meron po ba?
Before COVID, of course,
na tayo ng pandemic,
Before COVID, actually, before the early days, New Zealand was very eager, very desperate to get migrants. Ngayon, dahil naging click sa buong mundo, they had to kind of restrict. But hanggang ngayon, dahil especially na COVID, migration is blocked except for nurses and other critical health workers. So nurses. The problem sa Pinas, kulang din tayo sa nurses. I mean, they say kulang sa nurses. So nagkaroon ng cap, di ba? 5 or 6,500 yata ang cap. So New Zealand government is very, well, quite frankly, pressing us to allow nurses to come over. So, but let's say we're back to normal. So ngayon, it's really, quite frankly, only nurses. And other critical health sector workers. Now, the other priorities have been agricultural, sa farming, especially sa mga, for dairy farming.
Dairy farm, yeah.
And construction. Kasi yung nga, nagkalindol sa South New Zealand, and construction, and ang daming infrastructure projects.
Yeah.
So they really, talagang yan ang mark natin. We're very good, technically skilled, whether it's, kaya lang walang masyadong doktor, like unlike sa US, kasi US system tayo sa pagka-MD. So iba sa British Commonwealth system.
Yeah.
That's why bihira lang ang mga Pinoy na doktor in New Zealand, Australia. But nurses, kasi yung curriculum nila, it's universal.
Yeah.
Madaling mapunta.
Yeah.
Punta. So even though sweldo is a little less, it's balanced by the overall quality of life. And it's an ideal place to raise a family. Of course, there is some, kahit paano, like the rest of the world, yung Asian hate, yung bullying, but it's much lower than any other Western country.
Yeah. Siguro sa kabayan, Sarah, siguro it also depends on the person. I mean, like sa kanya, si Gary, I think he is really concerned about the welfare of the Filipino people that works there. So talagang gumagawa siya ng paraan na kung ano yung dapat mga benefits na maibigay sa mga workers na nandyan, mga migrant workers, is ginagawa niya. And I know I hate to say this, but I'm sure some other ambassadors in different countries are not doing this the thing that they're supposed to do to protect the welfare of the Filipino people who are on a different country. And I can see how he yung pagsasalita ni Ambagari is very tawag dito, very concerned. Nakikita mo yung compassion niya sa mga Filipino workers, and I can feel it. I mean, I just see him sa pero nararamdaman ko, and he's very excited to tell the people of the world na talagang New Zealand is a good place to be, and you don't see that, you don't hear that, you don't see that to other Amba.
Alam mo, Kabayan Louie, tama ka diyan, ay ito kasi si Ambagaray po, Garay. Sorry Amba. Ipapasyal mo pa rin kami kahit alam niyo po mga kabayan, si Ambagaray po ay naging former consul and second secretary at Philippine Embassy sa Saudi Arabia. So Amba, isa yun naman po kasi alam niyo po naman po na mas maraming mga Filipino na mostly na nasa Saudi Arabia kasi kumbaga mas malawak yung opportunity doon pagdating sa paghanap ng trabaho. So ang bain yung experience sa Saudi Arabia, ano yung case na talagang na-handle mo o niyon nung panahon mo na talagang nahirapan po kayo sa isang kababayan nating OFW?
Oh gosh, well,
kung natatandaan niyo pa po.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, wala yun.
Ilang oras bang programa natin? Ang dami kong may kukwento. But if I had to...
Yung pinaka
the most.
If I had to pick one case, it was Violi Miranda. Violi Miranda was a nurse na umuwi, nagbakasyon, and this is a sad but common story. May nag-abot ng isang package na pasalubong, binigay sa kanya sa airport, hindi niya alam pala may shabu. At mukhang yung guy nagbigay, na ma-monitor na, so pagdating niya sa Riyadh airport, kulong ka agad. So, but it was a tough case, but in a sense, it was like my parang baptism of fire. And so, talagang 25-8, nakatutok ang embassy to get her out. So, we had to convince yung mga huwes, yung police na hindi niya alam. And, so we had to do a lot of, halos araw-araw, nandun kami sa presinto, hindi lang sa presinto, sa the equivalent of yung munisipyo, the governor's office. So talagang kulit every day.
Wow.
So we find, buti na lang, also, kahit mahigpit sa Saudi, as you know, and Sarah, your experiences, obviously, with, on a trivial note, well, just before I forget, hindi pa Vina Morales played you?
Yes.
Doon siya ko na-meet sa Saudi kasi may concert siya with Randy Santiago. Doon ko siya na-meet.
Okay.
So it's like I met you na.
Di ba ang ganda-ganda niya, no?
Like you, of course. Bagay na bagay.
Ano po ulit? Pakiulit ko ba? Hindi ko narinig.
Maganda ka, kabayan.
Very beautiful. So, a beautiful lady inside and out must be played by a beautiful actress.
Yeah.
So si Louie, nako, I can also, we'd have to pick the best of our
Yeah.
kapusa
Nagbubulahan na tayo dito eh.
to play you. Okay. Well, I don't know kung another time, I nearly, okay, I don't know kung, well, I'll just leave it here. Maybe another show or pagkita tayo.
Yeah.
I almost starred in something with Sharon Cuneta back in the 80s.
Really?
Mahabang kwento yun, but hindi regal shocker like some people are thinking. Or parang Squid Game, hindi katulad.
Squid Game, yeah.
But anyway.
Bago ko po makalimutan, limaputol ko lang po kayo. Alam niyo po, kamukha niyo po, yung actor na si Ricky Davao. Right?
Oh, wow.
Mestizo version siguro. Mestizo version.
Oh, yeah, right. Mestizo din si Ricky Davao. Kabayan.
Oh, thank you.
Diba? Oh, yan. Pag
Oh, yeah. Nakita ko na.
Ako sasabihin nyo, the late Ike Lozada or something.
Hindi naman ako.
Very handsome guy. But, yun nga. So, with Yoli Miranda, we got her out of death row, basically.
Oh my, thanks.
So if you had to pick one case, that's her.
Mm-hmm.
But yung nga, kasi ang hawak ko kasi I think Riyadh is is the biggest Philippine embassy.
Mm-hmm.
Meron din kaming kasama from Dole, OWA.
Mm-hmm.
And so total number namin, at least my time, I was there 98 to 2002, 60 plus people sa embassy. And then hawak din namin ang Eastern Province. But one thing that really struck me was my dad was also an ambassador. He was a USEC. No, bumisita siya sa Riyadh, 2000, 2001. And he told me, and I heard this also from my ibang Saudi, ang sabi niya, nagpapasalamat ang mga Saudi na punta ang mga Pinoy sa Saudi. There are 1 million plus of us, 2 million because we show them what it means to be human.
Wow. Amen.
And anong ibig sabihin niya doon is because two things. Out of love for our families, halos kapit patalim, we will do anything para may matinong pakikitain, hanap buhay. So we could send money back home kahit ganong kahirap. And like you, Sarah, you faced the worst.
Yeah.
But yet you were tough. But you endured that for your family. And kahit ganong kahirap, we still smile, we still love, we still sing karaoke, even if we're crying on the inside.
Correct.
So,
po yan.
I guess one of the questions you'll ask, or people ask, is what is it about the Filipino? Bakit? And what do we see here in New Zealand, sa Saudi, sa Oman, sa States?
Yeah.
Love. Filipinos, I like to say, we are the superpower. If U.S. is a superpower of nuclear weapons and military, we are the superpower of love. Yes.
Wow, I love that, Amba. Gusto ko yun. Ako, ngayon ko lang narinig yan.
Ako din.
Superpower
Alam ko power of love, pero
ang
superpower of love, wala. Ngayon lang.
ng Filipino.
Saan tayo magaling? Sa mga bagay that involve love.
Yeah.
Like mga Miss Universe. Our reputation in the U.S. It's caring Filipinos, nurses, caregivers. At pati yung mga agriculture. Kasi tayo who are taking care of the cows and the sheep.
Yeah.
And kahit nasa IT ka, broadcasting, whatever, the Filipino is known to be the most loving, the most caring in the office, di ba? Let's face it. Actually, the first wave ng mga Filipino migrants sa New Zealand and many other countries like Australia ay mga spouses. Doon nakilala because I'm writing a book about all of this.
Wow, exciting.
I'll explain it very simply. Di ba sa universe may dalawang bagay, yin or yang, di ba? The maternal or the paternal. Sa ating mythology, it's malakas at maganda.
Oo nga.
So yung mga puti, Western countries and Asians, they're more on the yang or malakas side. So malakas is good for negosyo, politics, matino, technology.
Matino talaga, magsabi talaga matino.
with due respect, ayoko matanggal ng trabaho. But anyway, but the yin people, the magandang people, saan tayo magaling? Loving, caring families. But yung mga yin, mahina sa yang and vice versa. So young people are good in the material things, but in the spiritual loving things, mahina. With the yin people, very loving, very kind, but we're not the most organized or united people. And sino bang mga yang or malakas, so to speak? Asians and Filipinos. Here's something I want to share with you. I realized yung identity natin, like other nationalities, like let's say Caucasian Americans, for example, even African Americans or Chinese, Russians. It's very clear kung ano yun, what their culture is. It's very, but tayo, it's like one flavor of ice cream. Like Korean, like kimchi ice cream, wasabi ice cream. Ano tayo? Halo.
Yes.
You look at the three of us. We're like three different flavors of delicious ice cream, but slightly different. Whereas you look at other nationalities, it's very similar. But so I realized, kasi bukod pa sa New Zealand, I'm also ambassador concurrently to Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, Cook Islands, mga island countries. And then, nung bumisit, so when I go, I got the shock of my life nung, tinanong ko ang nalaman ko, you might know, what is their, kasi maraming Pacific Islanders din sa California, sa Nevada, sa Oregon. If you've met them, I'm sure that, do you know anong favorite TV shows nila? Anong mga paboritong programa nila?
Ano po?
Pangako sa'yo. Meaning, Filipino soap operas. Bakit? And another thing is, when I visit those countries, I hear, bukod pa sa Tagalog, I hear fluent Ilocano, Cebuano, and I look around, wala akong makitang Pinoy. It's because, the Mormon Church, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they have a policy of sending Pacific Islanders dun sa Pinas and other Christian denominations. And their answer is because, bro, it's like looking in the mirror. You're just like us. You look like us. In fact, actually, saan galing mga Pacific Islanders? Galing silang China or Taiwan, dumaan sa Pinas like thousands of years ago. So that's why actually they're very family-oriented, very loving. But at the same time, kung ang nagustuhan nila sa teleserye natin, chismosa, intriguera, magulo. But very loving.
Madrama talaga.
Madrama, but very loving. And I think so I realized, look at our names. Roa, Domingo. I think, Sarah, you must come from royalty kasi the Filipinos that kept the native names were those who resisted colonization. So props. Yeah. So anyway, but Sarah, Gary, Louie, that's very American. So I like to say our identity, para ma-explain na madali, it's either like halo-halo, iba-ibang layers, or like log na maalat. So our pula, the yolk is Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
The egg white is Spanish, Latino. Our egg shell is American, pero yung alat is Asian. It's because we have those four aspects. So my message to Filipinos in America is, we are a bridge. Yes, we're Asian, but we're also Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
We're native English speaking, and we're Latino. It's sad na kung konti lang Pinoy na marunong mag-Kastila, mag-Espanyol.
Yeah.
If we could only, so I think we should embrace our diversity. Because sometimes you hear this national, Pinoy. What does that mean? What is our national sport? It's basketball.
Yeah.
Majority of Filipinos are either Christian or Muslim, not the native religion.
Yeah.
But so instead of saying we should just only be this narrow thing, let's embrace our diversity. But one thing that we bring so much is also the majority of Filipinos are God-fearing, family-oriented people.
Very true.
Yes. And one thing, ang isang lamang sa New Zealand, yung Filipino community sa US, is nakapasok tayo ng isang Filipino-born full-blooded Pinoy sa Kongreso. I'm talking about federal or national level. Sa US, although yes, you have Mr. Bonta, Attorney Bonta sa California, but nakapasok na tayo na, I'm saying Filipino-born or full-blooded sa US House of Representatives or Senate, wala pa. Ang pinakamalamang ay Canada. Dalawa na sa Parliament. Isa sa New Zealand, isa sa South Korea. And this is also one of my advocacies is we should really have more Filipino empowerment. And I think everybody knows this sa US. Like 2 or 3 years ago, di ba, yung Emmy Awards?
Yeah.
Nagsabi sila, ay, ER, 15 seasons. Walang character na Filipino. Kahit we're the backbone of the nursing sector. Is because, I think, to be quite frank, well, first of all, di ba, and also, again, compared to, let's say, Chinese or Vietnamese or Indian or Korean, we don't have that as much success sa negosyo, sa business. Yeah, there are some, but compared to others.
Yeah.
But here's something interesting. I don't know if you could Google this. I saw a study, anong per capita income averages by ethnic group. Number one, okay, mainstream white Caucasian Americans are like number 7 or something like that, 6 or 7. Ang Japanese American and Korean American were 5 or 6. Who's number 1?
Asian.
Yeah, but now specifically, because I said Japanese and Korean are like 5 or 6 or 4 and 5. Number 1.
It's Chinese.
Chinese are number 2. Sinong number 1?
Filipino?
Well, not quite, but number 1, Indians. Then Chinese.
Oh.
Number 3, tayo. So even though you see us more in as professionals or employees, our income level is very high, even higher than Japanese or Korean Americans. But I think it's because our averages jacked up very high because of more recent migrants, nurses and other professionals, IT. But interestingly, okay, I don't want to jump into controversies or anything. Hindi, compared sa mga ibang ethnic groups sa US, who do you see? How often do you see Filipino voices?
No.
Well, of course, I'm not there. Although lumaki ako sa US, nag-aral ako doon, my first assignment is New York, I've been out of circulation. But just looking from social media, and the few times you hear Filipinos, it's about Filipinx, Pinxie, yung mga gender groups. Now, I'm not criticizing them. In fact, they have a voice. Kaya lang, what about other Filipino groups?
Yeah.
Because first of all, I think many Filipinos left the Philippines kasi sawang-siwa sila sa gulo sa atin.
Yeah.
And they want a fresh start. So, going into politics is, so I'm talking media and politics and big business. But sa ibang sectors, and at least buti na lang sa showbiz, nakakalamang tayo. Si Olivia, si Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars, yes.
But Leia, of course, some years ago. So I really, this is my commitment to you. I want to help whatever I can grow Kamusta Kabayan. Because just looking at your show, you're exactly that kind of, well, again, I hope I don't say anything that's not quite correct, but I think you are more in tune with the mainstream Filipino American. And those, especially those who have recently come to the United States. Kasi yun nga, it's also a generational thing. Now, I think we have 2 problems. Yung mga bagong salta sa New Zealand, sa US, masyadong, we're not racist, we get along with others, pero in our own time, we have a tendency, gusto lang ang kasama natin mga kapwang Pinoy. We tend to be.
Yeah.
Now, then the problem with the second generation, hindi kokonti lang ang may feel sa ating kultura, sa ating wika, because So no, there's kind of a may disconnect. So first generation, masyadong Pinoy.
Yes, totoo yan.
So second generation, parang walang pakialam sa pagiging Filipino. So, so if I have to make an elevator pitch, I have a program called VAMBA, Volunteer Ambassador for Adults, and YAMBA, Youth Ambassadors.
VAMBA.
For the adults is to make us more comfortable dealing with Americans, with New Zealand, especially in business and politics. Now, non-political ang embassy, but we're just simply encouraging Filipino New Zealanders to get into electoral politics. Bahala ka na ko ng partido. But just to encourage. And sa mga high school and elementary, we teach Filipino language, culture, or support the Philcom groups that teach Filipino language and culture. So it's a two-edged campaign. And buti na lang, yung ibang kasama ko sa mga DFA posts are into that also. But we also have to avoid this politicking, this politicizing. It's not healthy. In the US or Philippines, we have to be neutral. But we have to also understand, anong common denominator? What does it really mean to be Filipino? And that is, if we had to summarize in one word, as we said, it's love. Ating pagmamahal, malasakit, bayanihan. We are people of heart, puso. Well, I don't want to sound like I'm biased to GMA7 na kapuso. But, I mean, look at
diba? Makapamilya, makapuso, diba?
Pamilya, puso, that's our thing.
Makakapatid pa.
Makapatid, oo, diba?
And then, I don't know kung nanonood kayo ng Saturday Night Live, and one of my favorite shows. And then it's interesting, well, you hardly see Filipinos there, but there was one time, pinakita nila anong Filipino stereotype. Oh, Filipinos are those ladies at the back of the church who are filling the church. So meaning, ang isang pakilala natin is we're very devout.
Devout, yes.
Well, whatever denomination, Catholic, Evangelical, Iglesia ni Cristo, born again, we are known as God-fearing, devout people. But the thing is, I hate to put it this way, do we use it? I mean, in a good and a godly way. Do we, maybe a safer word is, do we leverage it?
I don't think so.
And that's something we also have to explore. Although, of course, there's separation of church and state, but the reality is, what makes up a Filipino? And what makes up the Filipino mainstream? Family and faith.
That's right. Amen.
So on one hand, we have to be neutral, we have to be careful, but at the same time, we can't ignore what makes us unique. And if I may say so, what is God's plan for us? Because even nakita niyong Saudi, kahit he's a Muslim prince, Saudi prince, he recognized, in a way, you can argue, every people has a mandate from God. And what does it say in the New Testament? The meek shall inherit the earth.
Amen.
Hindi mayabang. And maybe that's a sign. Yeah, hindi tayo masyadong bongga, but quietly, we've proven we are the most sought after professionals in the caring and loving sector. Not just only as nurses and doctors, as dentists, as medtechs, but also as partners. Of course, mas maraming kababaihan which Western men have been attracted to. But my God, there are so many celebrated cases when it's the Western woman who loves a Filipino guy. So it's all, the common denominator is love. But at the same time, now I don't want to sound like I'm campaigning for anybody, Manny Pacquiao. So when we have to be tough, we can be tough.
Yes.
And remember, for a long time, in many of our kababayan in the US, they were recruits in the US military. And hanggang ngayon, some of the most decorated and the most valued, even panahon pa ng, before World War II, the American military saw that we were some of the best jungle fighters, most dedicated naval sailors, even sa Air Force, and hopefully sa Space Force. Are there Filipinos in the Space Force? Dapat.
I think there is.
Meron yata no?
Meron
Yung
na.
engineer, yung babae
Yeah.
pa. Yan. Opo.
But hopefully, I'm looking forward now we can work more close. I want to link you with the kababayan in New Zealand
Yes.
and vice versa.
And
So maybe you can also help mentor some of our emerging Filipino Kiwi. So you know the slang name for mga New Zealand are Kiwi. So Filipino Kiwi broadcasters, I think, can learn a lot from you guys. Hopefully, we could do something joint. Especially ngayon sa COVID, most of our transactions are now by Zoom.
By online, yes. By
online.
Zoom.
Mayroon po akong question. Tawag dito. So, ano po ang mga kailangan? Ano mga requirement para makapunta po sa para mag-migrate sa New Zealand?
Okay.
Like for...
Well, first of all,
gusto mo na mag-migrate doon, kabayan?
Yeah, now na.
Well, okay.
The
the quick and easy thing is look at the Immigration New Zealand website. It's all there. Maganda yung information technology. Well, like their social media. Kaya lang, of course, things are closed now.
Yeah.
But you start from there, and then I think when COVID opens up again, well, of course they're preferred. Well, one way, aside from what they call essential skills, like nursing, and later agriculture, is of course the other route is investment.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's best to look at the Immigration New Zealand website. And but for now, we have to pause muna. So,
Parang cross lang.
Ambay, sabi ni Veronica Dungalio, Amen. Filipino learn compassion and kindness because of the nation's love and fear of God. Ayan, mga kaibigan, si Ambassador Gary Domingo. At syempre po makakasama pa natin siya dahil may mga question po ang ating mga viewers sa Facebook. May mga question sila. Kabayan Louie, handa muna. Dahil sa pagbabalik po natin mga kaibigan, kasama pa rin natin at sasagutin po ni Ambassador Gary Domingo ang inyong mga katanungan. At makakasama po rin natin ang iba nating mga correspondent sa iba't ibang bansa. Yan po mga kaibigan, sa pagbabalik po ng Kumusta Kabayan dito lamang sa PHLV Radio.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Mga kabayan, nagbabalik po ang Kumusta Kabayan. Siyempre po, kasama po natin live, siyempre, from New Zealand ang ating ambassador po, si Ambassador Gary Domingo. At siyempre kasama pa rin natin ang ano ba yun? Nakalimutan ko yung simpatikong co-host kasi Kabayan Louie Roa. At syempre po mga kaibigan, bago natin balikan si Gary po mga kaibigan, mga kabayan, ay ito na po, good news po muna. Ayan, Kuya Yor, ipakita mo na ang ating sulat na natanggap mula po sa OWA o sa consulate po ng Polo. No, kung matatandaan niyo po, no, isa ko sa bilang public service po natin ng ating programa ay may inasikaso po tayong isang kabayan natin na sa Saudi Arabia na kinulong ng amo sa kanyang rooftop at ayaw pauwiin kahit tapos na ang kanyang kontrata. So may mga nilapitan na po silang mga grupo pero yet hindi pa rin po siya napauwi. Kaya lumapit po tayo sa OFW Family Club at agad naman po umaksyon ng OFW Family Club. At sinulatan din po natin dahil talagang nag-aalala na yung pamilya at syempre yung kababayan natin, makakasama din po natin pag nasa Pilipinas na siya soon, ay kaya sumulat po tayo sa administrator ng OWA dahil remember po naging guest din po natin siya dito at agad-agad naman po silang umaksyon at sinagot ang ating sinulatan ng OWA na asikasuhin agad at pauwiin agad sa Pilipinas yung kababayan natin, si Kabayan Nelia. So, ayun, may sulat po na yan po yung ating sulat na katibayan na talagang ginagawa po natin ang public service natin dito na dito po sa Kumusta Kabayan. So, ayan po mga kaibigan, ang good news, no? Good news po mga kabayan at makakasama din po natin mga kaibigan ang ating mga volunteer correspondents sa UK at sa Qatar. At i-introduce po ni Kabayan Louie.
Siyempre, magaganda tong ating mga correspondents kaya dapat ako talaga mag-introduce. Siyempre, ang unahin po natin si Binibining Rosana Barrera. All the way from Qatar. Rosana, ano bang i-report mo ngayon? Gusto po namin malaman ang update about the Filipinos in Qatar. So mga kaibigan, i-welcome po natin si Rosana Barrera po and at the same time, si Miss Ella Hidalgo ng UK. Ayan. Pasok!
Parang si Mike Enrique.
Ang inyong kabayan, Rosana Barrera. Salupuyang nandito tayo sa Qatar Bowling Center at ayan po, ginaganap ang PPOQ Sports Fest 2021. So, PPOQ means Philippine Professional Organization Qatar. Yan po ay binubuo ng mga professionals na mga manggagawa dito sa Qatar. So, iba-iba po yan. Philippine Nurses Association, Filipino Dentist Organization Qatar, so which I belong. So, ako po ang VP External Affairs. Ang mga kasama po namin sa PPOQ na naglalaro ay 16 different organizations. So, iba-iba po sila, nurses, architects, engineers, at iba pa po. This is a one-day event, pero marami po kami iba't ibang klase na sports. So, kami po ang mag-host ng bowling. Halika, kabayan, ikutin natin. Samahan niyo ako, ha? Kabayang Rosana Barrera, reporting from Doha, Qatar. Back to you, Kabayan Louie and Kabayan Sarah. See you again.
Ay, talaga. Ayan mga kabayan! Ay, nakaka-proud naman ang ating mga volunteers. Talaga, feel
Okay.
nila ang kanila talaga. They give time at pinaghahandaan nila talaga ang kanilang updates sa mga reporting dito sa ating programa. Kaya maraming salamat sa iyo, kabayan.
Maraming
Rosana
salamat.
Barrera from Qatar. Nako.
At saka, kabayan Sarah, ang the best talaga is para tayong nandun din sa Qatar ngayon habang nagre-report sila. Parang nandun tayo, di ba?
Oo.
Thank you, kabayan. Thank you, kabayan.
Yes, at ngayon, mga kabayan, heto na po, bago natin balikan, babalikan na talaga natin si Ambag. Ambagari po, no? Pero ito muna, yung question, kabayan Louie, ang ating pag-Gcash for 500 pesos. Sa 500 unang tamang tanong. Sa unang tamang tanong.
Sa unang tamang kasagutan, kabayan Sarah. Ano pa nangyayari sa atin? Anyways,
Starstruck yata ako kay Amba
Starstruck ka kay
Artista kasi si Amba, di ba?
Oo nga eh. Anyways, ang question po natin ngayong gabi, first question, we will going to have two questions actually tonight. So, ang una pong question natin is, anong bansa ambassador, a Philippine ambassador to what country si Amba Gary?
Yan,
siya naka-assign ngayon?
Ayan, mga
Teresa
kabayan.
Pradas, Alberto, Anthony Rada, Malu Pardilla Lansin, Len Quasito Betual. Ang dami pa nating isa-shoutout dito. Pag hindi namin kayo na-shoutout lahat, huwag kayo magtatampo. Isa-shoutout ko kayo habang natutulog ako. Palagi kayo nasa isip ko.
Baka mamay, kahit na natutulog ka, sumisigaw ka ng shoutout ng mga... Ayan, may mga sagot na po. Bago natin kunin yung... Bitinin muna natin, kabayan Louie, kung sino yung nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Para kabayan ng ating mga viewers sa Facebook page po natin ng PHLB Radio. Ito na po mga kabayan, balikan na po natin ang ating artistahing ambassador ng Pilipinas sa ayun yung sa blank muna. So, Ambagari po, ito na may mga question ng ating mga viewers sa Facebook page po natin. Ang tanong ng isa po nating correspondent mula sa Abu Dhabi, UAE ay meron po ba daw kayong mai-recommend na agency para applyan po yung tamang agency kasi umiiwas sila na baka mabiktima sila ng mga yung mga illegal recruiters or mga agency na scammers.
Okay. Well, magandang tanong 'yon, pero syempre nasa gobyerno kami, hindi kami pwede mag-endorse. But however, what we can give advice is make sure na kung anong agency properly accredited sa POEA.
Yeah.
And yun lang masabi ko as of now. But I would strongly recommend, kasi hindi pwede kami mag-endorse, bawal yun. Yes. But at least we can point out some to avoid. And but it depends. First of all, right na yun, of course, it's unrealistic to expect makapunta kayo Saudi unless you're a nurse. I mean, New Zealand. Unless you're a nurse or other critical health, health sector person, like medtech or advanced caregiving or whatever. But first check sa POA website. But then some credible OFW organizations. So I was glad to hear. And I know also we had a common friend, of course, Ma'am Sarah, she's the late Ambassador Roy.
Yes,
so you OFW family organization are able to say the things I can't say. But it's also I want to shout out to the most active Facebook group for Filipinos because Pinoys in NZ. That's the I could share you the link.
Sige po.
And you can ask there and you'll get some honest feedback tungkol doon. But I think you raised a very good point is kasi we're people of love. Kaya lang, may isa pang ugali na dapat sana mabaguhin na. Masyado tayong natitiwala. Madaling maniwala.
Yes.
Trusting. At minsan, tamad tayo mag-research.
Sinabi mo na po.
Actually, related to the VAMBA hindi ba meron tayong tinatawag na PIDOS?
Yes.
Seminar. And then pag dumating ka sa bansa, PAOS, post-arrival, it's really about, but isang napansin namin, yung mga, actually maraming tayong mga kababayan, na hindi ko sila sinasmall or anything, I don't mean to be offensive, but yung iba actually are from galing probinsya. At yung exposure nila in the outside world is very limited.
Yeah.
So like for example, yung paggamit nila ng social media, like for example, yung iba marunong mag-text, marunong mag-message. Pero hindi marunong or hindi sanay mag-email. Or hindi sila sanay makipag-check sa website. Gusto nila mas naniniwala sila sa Facebook post.
Oo, yan.
Or it's like like even pero pati yung mga yung iba mas naniniwala sa mga theory kaysa Center for Disease Control, for example. Yung mga ganon. So, mas lalo mga Pinoy na especially excited sila mapunta sa ibang bansa, madali sila mabola ng propaganda ng mga ibang pasaway na recruitment agencies. Now, there are some that are good, but some that talagang, I don't know how. I know in the end, the Lord will give them justice, but we shouldn't have to wait until you get to the next life, So I think it's very important that programs such as yours are there. So, I'm sure you give them advice on, now, siguro, I don't know, I haven't seen like your previous guests, but, we could quietly suggest some of the better agencies or agency groups or like, they can point out what are mga red flags, kasi there's actually one racket na ginagawa ng ibang pasaway na recruiters is, sa madaling salita, is kasi before medyo ang luwag-luwag mga punta sa New Zealand. Pero over the years, dahil ang daming nag-apply from India, from China, kung saan-saan, humihigpit. Yeah. So, ang impression ang isang racket was, ang sabi nila, okay, ganito interesting see, the difference between New Zealand and US, at least before, sa US, ang hirap makakuha ng visa, di ba? Super hirap. Pero once you're sa US, nako, di ba? Dami na, diretsong na salita. Ang daming nagti-TNT.
Correct. Totoo.
Kaya lang sa New Zealand, baliktad. Madaling kumuha ng visa. But, mahirap talaga magstay kung wala kang legal na trabaho. Kasi mas I would have to say honestly, mas sunurin ng mga Kiwi sa batas. Yeah. Hindi usang underground. No, they're very law-abiding here. Unfortunately, maraming kababayan tayo na nababawala itong mga ibang diploma mill sa New Zealand. Sadly, meron ding diploma mill sa New Zealand. Nag-aalok sila sa Ermita, sa Cebu, saying, study in New Zealand, guaranteed, you'll get a job, you can bring your family. It's a lot of it, I have to say, I don't like to swear on radio, a lot of it is BS. Sadly.
Buti na lang hindi SB.
So, actually, kung i-google mo yung pangalan ko, and, education trafficking, education exploiters, yan, nakikita mo, nagsasalita ako sa media about that. Siyempre, yung iba, nainis sa akin, gumante, also on social media. Binabash ako, but really weird bashing. Like saying, anong alam itong matanda na blah, 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 blah. Well, hindi naman, saan mga gray hair? But not knowing me, they just, anyway, so, but again, on the positive side, ngayon, but the best thing is also check yung, isa pang tip is check yung Immigration New Zealand website. Kasi yung ibang pasaway na agencies, may sinasabi sila tungkol sa patakaran ng New Zealand, it's not true. So yun nga, I think yung, especially yung kababayan natin whose education may be limited, shall we say, I think programs like yours can give them just very simple tips like what... Siyempre, hindi natin pwede i-baby sila lahat. I mean, all the process, but one is very simple. Agency, number one, you check POEA website kung accredited sila. Pangalawa, anong bansa? You check the official government statements. So in the case of New Zealand, Immigration New Zealand ang website. I give you the links later. Yun, yung mga basic research na nun. But not for Filipinos should be loving but not trusting.
Yeah, and sometimes Filipinos are always in denial. They already saw the red flags. They know the red flags, and they still, it up like, oh, it's okay, it's just like that, but it's real, it's true. I trust them, and then ayun na, naloko na. And doesn't that happen?
Mahilig kasi mostly mga Filipino po, sa obserbasyon ko lang, mahilig sa baka sakali. Kahit alam na nila, nakikita na nila yung red flag, no? Teka muna, mukhang pero nagbabaka sakali pa rin. Oo. Sabi ni Veronica Amba, sabi na, wow, Ambassador, thank you for reminding about the Word of God about meekness. At isa pa pong question, Amba, is ano daw po, mula naman sa ating kabayan na si Feli Alfred, may owner po ng Filipino Style Peanut mula sa Seattle. Po yan. Available sa Seafood City, mga kabayan, dito sa Amerika. Ayun, ano daw po ang pinaka-in-demand na, pero nasagot nyo na po yun, no? Pero ang question is, ano daw po ang pinaka-in-demand na profession dyan po sa New Zealand po?
Okay. Number 1, nursing. Number 2, caregiving. Kasi yung ibang nurse just opt to do caregiving. Sa madaling salita, they opt to do caregiving instead. Then, when the borders open again, nakikita ko is agricultural workers, especially sa fruit farming, kasi kiwi fruit especially, and then sa dairy. Sa dairy. And the good thing is, although yung ibang kababayan natin, papasok sila as workers, eventually, they become farm managers and owners. Kasi sa sipag, sa tiyaga, sa talino ng Filipino, they can, special shout out sa Seattle, because my dad was a diplomat. Yun ang unang assignment niya. Doon ako nag-kinder. And so, I'm taga Seattle din ako. So, shout out. And yung ibang, my aunt and my cousins are still in Seattle.
Amba, buti marunong po kayo magtagalog, dito na kayo lumaki sa US, tapos kung saan na kayo nasa, and yet, ang galing pa rin ang Tagalog niya, Amba.
Ay, maraming salamat po.
Ayan, maraming salamat, Amba. At yan po, mga kaibigan, ito na po, Kabayan Louie, sabihin na natin kung sino ang nanalo sa katanungan natin kanina, saang bansa naka-destino bilang ambassador ng Pilipinas, si Amba Gary Domingo. At yan po ay ang sagot ay Kabayan Louie, sagot mo?
Ang sagot po ay, bago ko sagutin yan, say hello kay Kuya Rex Ricarte. Kay
Kuya Rex.
Tawag dito, may pa ako, di ba? Del Ordinario ng California. And kanina si Kuya Gilbert is nandito. Tapos kay Ate Feli Alton, of course, thank you much. And of course, the correct answer is New Zealand. Ayan.
At syempre, may nanalo na.
Yes.
Eto, nakita mo na? Nakikita mo ba ang nakikita ko, Kabayan Louie?
Oo, sana pareho ang nakikita natin. Russell Lansing. Diba?
Correct,
Russell
yes.
Correct.
Yeah, congratulations, Russell. Nanalo finally ng 500 pesos. Ipapadala po ng SBIM ang iyong 500 talaga, 500 pesos sa iyong GCash. Oo, para...
And thank you so much, Kuya Yo, watching. Kuya Yo is watching, our CEO. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kuya Yo. At syempre po, okay lang po ba? Ito na po, alam niyo po mga kabayan, no? Ito na naman, katapusan naman. Siyempre sa mga OFW, pag katapusan na, ano ang mayroon? Sweldo. Ibig sabihin, magre-remit na naman sa Pilipinas at naghihintay ang mga mahal natin sa buhay. At ito po, may isang way, paraan, para tayo po ay makatipid sa ating pagpapadala sa ating pamilya. No? Ang kailangan lang po natin ay mag-download ng app. At ito po, makakapanayan po natin si Dan. Nandiyan na ba? Biglaan. Si Dan? Amba? Okay lang po ba, Amba, na mag-stay kayo? You have to go na.
Go ahead. Go.
Okay. Artistahin naman si Amba. Kaya sana yan.
Meron pa tayo,
Okay, bago po natin papasokin si Dan, heto muna po ang report sa atin na ibibigay ni Kabayan Ella Hidalgo mula sa UK.
Yes.
Hello, good evening everyone dyan sa USA and of course sa Kumusta Kabayan. This is Ella Hidalgo of COVID Warriors Corner and I am a UK correspondent of Kumusta Kabayan, hindi ka nag-iisa. So nandito po ako ngayon sa Kilburn. This is a place here in UK kung saan marami ng mga nakatirang Filipinos at mga businesses. At isa nga po dito ay ang Cocos Lounge.
Non-stage style, so they do shows every weekend.
First time nyo kumain dito sa Cocos, right?
Yes.
So anong masasabi nyo sa mga pagkain nila?
Sobrang fresh at saka ang daming serving. Sobrang bountiful. Yung favorite ko yung pork barbecue and chicharong bulaklak.
Yan. So, mauulit pa ba kayo?
Chef, definitely.
Yes. And of course, tita, what can you say? Like kay dito, di ba?
Lagi ako dito. Kasi masarap talaga. Fresh.
And Melody,
Hello.
anything that you can say about the food here?
Katulad ko, iba yung kinakain ko, vegan. You can just pre-order. They can do it for you. So, it's okay. They accommodate anyone.
Yan. Guys, kumusta kabayan? Dito sa USA. So, andito tayo ngayon with of course si Jojo. Siya ngayon nagpapatakbo. Isa sa mga nagpapatakbo or main na nagpapatakbo ng Cocos Lounge. Ayun, Jo. So, kaninong idea tong Cocos Lounge?
Sa akin idea yan sa person.
Because you love cooking, right? And then you suggested. And your mom, ayun. So, when did, kailan napat na buo or napatayo tong Cocos Lounge?
December 2016.
2016, December. So, how was it pre-pandemic?
Well, with the help of the government, like, we took advantage of, like,
During the pandemic, di ba, nagkaroon kayo ng government support?
Funding.
Funding.
Government funding.
Ayun. And ngayon, okay naman na yung takbo
Okay
ng...
naman yung flow ngayon, so far, with the help of our customer pick up na. And
That's good.
we started the show, I think, like, it was 2 months ago. Comedy show.
Ay, so every Saturday, comedy
Saturday.
show. And then, yung mga events nyo, anong pwedeng i-book dito na events?
Like, parties, like birthdays,
Binyag, ganun.
Binyag,
And then, do you do takeaways or
yes,
dine-in lang?
we have, like, just a delivery and collection.
Ayun. So, ayan. Thank you so much, Jojo, for your time. Yan po guys, dito sa Cocos Lounge, dito sa London, Kilburn. So, sa lahat po na mga gustong bumisita, kung galing kayo ng USA guys, please do come here in Kilburn. Dito sa London, Cocos Lounge lang po. Napakasarap ng pagkain nila. So, once again guys, this is Ella Hidalgo of Kumusta Kabayan, hindi ka nag-iisa. Bye!
Yes, mga kabayan, yan po si Kabayan Ella Hidalgo mula po sa UK. Siya po ang ating volunteer correspondent mula doon. Ayan, nakakatuwa naman. Alam mo, di ba, parang nakaka-proud na makikita natin yung mga kababayan nating Filipino na talagang umaayos, gumaganda, and kapag nasa ibang bansa, like dito sa Amerika, pag nag-business ka, ang dami mga requirements, ang dami mga kailangan mag-submit sa kasi bawal ang lagayan dito hindi kagaya sa Pilipinas, pwede pa, di ba, minsan.
Yeah.
But dito maigpit, and then doon din. So, nakakatuwa talaga, nakaka-proud bilang
Yes,
Filipino na nakikita natin na nagpa-prosper yung kababayan natin,
Tama.
may sariling negosyo, Cocos Lounge dyan sa London. Kaya yan, congratulations and maraming salamat sa iyo, Kabayan Louie. At amba, ito na lang po. Bilang ambassador, tapos na destino din po kayo sa Saudi Arabia, maybe sa iba pang lugar, iba pang bansa. Ano po yung nakikita niyong pinaka kaugalian ng Filipino na talagang magiging proud kayo?
Okay. Really, sa buong daigdig, Filipinos are synonymous with love. We are a people. We are a superpower.
Ayun, superpower.
Of pagmamahal. At yung ibang manifestations of love. Malasakit, bayanihan. Yan. So, love, pagmamahal, pag-ibig.
Ayan. And last na lang po, Amba, ano po ang advice nyo sa ating mga kababayan sa iba't ibang sulok ng mundo na sa gitna ng pandemic ngayon ay talagang nagsusumika pa rin na maka-survive at maayos ang kanilang buhay. Any encouragement, words of encouragement para po sa ating mga kabayan?
Well, first of all, the conditions sa iba-iba can be different. But there is one thing na talagang applicable sa lahat is to pray and not to lose hope. Ultimately, ang Panginoon natin ay will not abandon us. Palagi siya nakatutok sa akin. We may not see it day to day, but ultimately, faith and prayer in these dark times.
Yes.
Yun. Faith and prayer.
Amen.
Ayun, Ambassador, Amba, maraming salamat. At asahan po namin makakasama ka namin muli dito sa Kumusta Kabayan at siyempre doon sa isa kong programa, no? At doon tayo
makakanta si
nakahanda na yung karaoke ko. But yung isa pang, I noticed one thing, isang advocacy namin, which I'm glad to see we have restaurateurs. Meron kaming pakulo regarding support to Filipino food and entertainment entrepreneurs. Secret muna, but baka pwede ko din i-feature din sa Kamusta Kabayan.
Sure. Sige po.
Okay.
Sige po, Amba. Nako, thank you so much po, Amba. At may utang ka, Amba, yung pangako sa iyo.
Yes, thank you so much po, Amba, Gary.
Maraming salamat po, Amba. Ambassador Gary Domingo po ng Pilipinas sa New Zealand, mga kaibigan. Talaga nakakatuwa po, no? At talaga dalawang talagang ambassador na talagang nakausap ko, nakapanayam ko. Si the late Ambassador Roy Sinieres, artistahin din 'yon, 'di ba? Kamukha niya si Paquito Diaz, 'di ba? Oo. Tapos ito, si Amba Gary Domingo. Artistahin din. Another artistahin talaga. Talaga naman. Di ba, Kabayan Louie? Si Ricky Davao naman. Maraming salamat again, Ambassador Gary Domingo. At ngayon po mga kabayan, ito na po, Kabayan Louie. Ito papakita natin, no? Na ang Kumusta Kabayan ay nagiging bonding ng mga pamilya at mag-asawa o yung mga single na walang magawa sa bahay. Ito, panoorin. Nakita namin yung picture. Ito, Ayan. Example na dyan ang pamilyang Lansin. Ayan. Certified Kabayan Louie na supporters ng Kumusta Kabayan. Ay, sana yung picture. Ayan. Tingnan nyo naman. Talagang buong pamilya sila kapag Kumusta Kabayan na, ayan na, nanunood sila buong pamilya. As in, ginto ang kanilang trabaho according to Sister Malu, yan ang nanay, no? At very active sila sa pag-comments at sa mga kung ano yung ginagawa natin, talagang nakatuon sila. Kaya nakakatuwa, di ba, Kabayan Louie? At hindi lang yan. Ito pa, si Malu Calyanta, isang certified Kabayan supporters naman natin. Oo. Si Malu. Ayan, nag-iisa siya. Sana yung picture niya, si Malu. Ayan. Ayan, makikita ba natin? Ay, ikaw yata. Ayan. Ito na po. Ayan, si Malu, di ba? Kahit sa cellphone lang, nanonood na siya ng Kumusta Kabayan. So, yan. Oo. Kaya we encourage our viewers, kung mayroon po kayo na habang kayo nanonood ng Kumusta Kabayan, mag-picture, mag-selfie kayo na nanonood kayo, send it to us. At meron kayong simpleng regalos mula kay Louie Kabayan, Louie Roa.
Oo, meron. Hello kay Medicacho and Arian Kalu. Si Kuya Ret, si Russell Lassen, thank you so much. Emmy Baroga, thank you so much for watching. And tawagan na po ba natin, Kabayan, ang ating isa pang artistahing bisita ngayong gabi?
Oo, another artistahin na bisita, mga kaibigan. Ayan. Katulad na sinabi ko kanina, magkakatapusan na naman, sweldo?
Remittance na naman.
Araw ng sweldo, yung mga kababayan natin, pamilya ng kababayan na naghihintay sa Pilipinas. At ito po mga kababayan, meron po kayong may sorpresa, no? Na isang paraan na maaari po kayo magpadala ng libre, no? At para nang hindi na mabawasan ang pinadala niyo sa inyong mga mahal sa buhay. At makakasama po natin si Dan mula sa Sendwave Remittance. Hello, Dan?
Sendwave.
Dan Santos. Ayan, Sendwave. Sendwave. Ba't ba ako
Sendwave?
Sendwave.
Dito po si Michael Pangilinan ng California, ladies and gentlemen. Dan.
Marami pong salamat Ate Sarah and Kuya Louie for all of the help already, as being brand ambassadors and promoting our service. It's so fitting that we talked about love and we talked about the commitment to supporting our kababayans during the holiday season, because that's what the ethos and the mission of Sendwave is. It's to send money with love and to send money with no fees. Gusto namin talaga makatulong sa mga Pinoy during the lockdown, during the holidays, to make that remittance process, to make that opportunity to send easier and more affordable. So all you have to do is go to the App Store. As we mentioned, it's Sendwave, Sendwave. It's the yellow app with the penguin. You just download it, put in all of your information, and you can actually get a free credit. Enter promo code Sarah B. Or Louie H. Roa, and then that will get you a free credit on your first transfer. And then from there, it sends in minutes. Yung recipient nila natatanggap in GCash, almost real time. And then put it in cash pickup, put it in bank account. And, it really is about giving back to the immigrant communities, making it easier for OFWs, kasi alam namin na yung mga Filipino ang sisipag magtrabaho, day in and day out, we really work to support each other and support our loved ones. And Sendwave wants to make it a little bit easier for y'all so you can keep more money in your pockets, especially during the holiday season. It's completely secure, completely convenient. It's just like sending a text message. You just got to go into the app. You click on the Filipino flag. You add your recipient and you put in all of the information. And then you put in your debit card, and then from there, you can confirm your transfer and just watch it go. It literally sends like a wave in minutes. So definitely really excited to continue to be on the show. I know we're working on a partnership with PHLV and just continuing to work with you all to push this service, because mga kababayan, we shouldn't be waiting in lines anymore. We shouldn't be paying these high fees from these companies. Just to support our loved ones back home, because with Sendwave, it's always no fees. That's not a promotion. We want to continue to keep this service available for the Filipino community. And I'm a second generation Filipino American myself, and I was able to see what that process was like. I don't think my mom would have been able to immigrate from Tondo to the US if it was not for a relative sending remittance to pay for her education and to pay for her nursing placement. So talaga sa Sendwave, gusto namin makatulong. So look us up, please. And maraming salamat Ate Sarah and Kuya Louie for all of your help so far.
Of course. Thank you so much. Kabayan,
thank you so much, Dan. Okay.
Totoo talaga, Kabayan, na mabilis siya. At saka Santos, galing sa Tondo, may kakilala ko, my kid's mom is from Tondo and she's a Santos too. So baka may relevance.
So Dan, I have a question, Dan. Anong mga bansa ang pwedeng magpadala gamit ang Sendwave?
So right now, we're sending from US, UK, and most of Europe to the Philippines. And then also Canada. But we're continuing to expand, and hopefully by the next year, we'll be able to expand to more sending corridors, because we know Filipinos are everywhere, and we're working everywhere. So we're definitely making it part of our mission to continue to grow. But right now, the focus is on US and Canada primarily, but also UK and most of Europe.
Oh my.
Yes. So, mga kabayan, wala pa po sa Middle East or sa Singapore, sa Hong Kong. Yeah, ako din, ano. At meron lang po dito sa US, kung ikaw ay nasa US, magpapadala ka sa Pilipinas. Ayan, napakabilis po. Nasubukan po namin, hindi namin ito i-share sa inyo kung hindi namin nasubukan. Napakabilis. Mapa-pick up, mapa sa bank, diretso sa bank nila, napakabilis. And lalo na sa GCash, tuwang-tuwa ako sa GCash, kaya tuloy na ipa-premium natin, kasi ang dali-dali na lang mag-send.
Ang kulang lang yung i-send,
diba? Wala pang bayad.
Libre.
Oo. Kaya kung ikaw nata sa US, sa UK, Canada. Sa Africa ba? Oo.
Africa, meron.
Kaya gamitin niyo sa to Africa pala, at saka ipapadala niyo sa Pilipinas at sa Africa. Ayan, gamitin niyo samantala niya, dahil pag first time po kayong magpadala, ay mayroon kayong credit na matatanggap na worth $5 ako. At sayang din yun, di ba, Kabayan Louie?
Ilang kape na yun sa Pilipinas?
Kaya nga, pang ano ba yun, yung pang-kape? Barakong kape.
Starbucks.
Oo. So, Dan, can you please invite our viewers and listeners to use Sendwave? Encourage them.
Yeah, encourage them.
Opo, talaga. Like I was saying earlier, like you don't have to pay a fee. It's not a joke. It's not a scam. We've actually been around since 2014, and we're funded by Y Combinator, the same folks who back Airbnb and PayPal. So it's very much a revolutionary idea for folks to never be able to never have to pay fees again to send money. And we recognize that there is such a need in the Filipino community, kasi ang tataas talaga ng mga presyo, tapos ang bababa ng mga palitan ng mga competitors namin. So we wanted to be able to provide that service and fill that gap and help Filipinos during this time. So it's in the Google Play Store or the App Store. Sendwave, our logo is a penguin. It's a yellow app. And then all you have to do is sign up, put the promo code Sarah B, don't forget, for that free credit. And then the money will be there in minutes. And then I'm happy to answer any questions. You all can reach out to me at dan@sendwave.com. And really excited to continue to work with you all and share more about the service. Talagang, made by the diaspora for the diaspora, made by immigrants to serve immigrants. That's what we want to do talaga.
I have a last question.
Go.
Kabayan.
Go ahead.
This Sendwave, of course, this is a business, right? But since you don't get fees from like sending remittances to different country, saan yung funding nanggagaling?
So, kumikita kami ng maliit na percentage sa exchange rate. The thing is, sa industries ng remittances, most people, they charge on the exchange rate and they charge you a fee.
Twice.
Kami, we can sustain our business just with that small percentage, the exchange rate. And what we've seen is our exchange rate is still higher than most of our competitors.
Correct.
And then in addition to that, wala kaming mga oficina, diba? Mga empleyado that they have to work like hourly just to, process the transactions. It's all in the app. So we're also able to save costs there. It's really the future, right? Working from home, being remote, and we're a fully remote company. Lots of people working hard, working around the clock, but not working in a traditional office setting.
That's good. Okay, cool.
Ayan. Yeah, thank you so much. Nasagot mo na ang aking gustong itanong din. Parehas pala tayo iniisip, Kabayan Louie. Ayan, mga kabayan. So, ito na po ang ating katanungan. For 500 pesos para sa GCash. Okay? Ito na po, unahan ng tamang sagot, mga kabayan. Okay? So, kailangan yun ang kaibang kapag ikaw ay nag-pay attention. Talagang siguradong panalo ka. Kaya ito na po ang last question natin of the day. Anong app ang kailangan i-download? Ikaw ay makapagpadala ng remittance sa Pilipinas.
Yes.
Unahan ang sagot, mga kaibigan. At dahil dyan, ito na po, mag-hi sa atin bago tayo tuluyang magtapos ang ating volunteer correspondence mula sa Abu Dhabi, si Kabayan Alberto Arresa. Hello, Kabayan Alberto. Asan ka na? Pinatawagan namin si Kabayan. Sabi niya gusto niya pumasok, umakyat na po kayo, nakabukas na po ang pinto.
Natatawa ako sa mga sagot na.
Yun na nga. Oo. Ayan. So, Dan, dapat mag-sponsor kayo ng mga pa-premyo namin dito.
Oo nga. Yung $5 saka $10.
Oo. Ayan. Oo.
Sagot na. Ay, wala pa ba si Alberto Aresa? Si Bayan Albert?
Ayan. At ito po, available po. Sabi, sana po available na po yan sa Middle East. Malapit na daw by next year, God willing. Ayan, kasi million nga naman ang mga Pilipino sa Middle East. Dan, so, bilisan nyo na. Ang dami din nag-i-inquire sa akin.
Yeah.
Dan?
At sana, kuhanin tayo ni Dan na
Ayan. Sabi ni Malu Pardilla Lansin, yes po na po namin ito sa aming mga kaibigan sa US, Canada. Na-share.
Wow.
Na po namin ito sa aming mga kaibigan sa Canada. Maraming salamat. Ayan, sabi ni Alberto. Alberto, papasok ka ba? Oh, wow, God bless po, sir. More blessing. Ito po si Amor. Patrice. Sabi na, go tayo sa mga ka-DBS. Panalo na tayo. Index.
Ayan na si ayan si Kabayan Alberto Aresa.
Ayan, Kabayan Alberto. Ayan, kumusta anong updates dyan sa Abu Dhabi, Kabayan Alberto?
Ayan, magandang umaga po. Dito po sa Abu Dhabi, nandito ako sa opisina sa ngayon kasi pagka ganitong oras po ay trabaho na. So, binigyan ko po ng pagkakataon na nakamonitor po sa ating programa at talaga naman po na nagpapasalamat din po ako sa ating New Zealand Ambassador. No? Napakaganda po ng kanyang mga sinabi sa atin. Yeah. So, magandang umaga ay gabi po sa inyo, Madam Sarah. At kanina nagbubulahan. Hindi ako nakasali sa bulahan natin, no? Sayang.
Sana naipas ako sa iyong bola.
Oo nga eh. At sa ating magandang host na si Madam Sarah Balabagan Serino. And of course kay nag-isang pogi, pangalawa ko, si Sir Louie Roa. Ayan.
Thank you so much. May isa pang pogi, ayan, si Dan.
May pang isang pogi. Si Dan. At saka isa pang pogi, si Kuya Yo. At saka isa pang pogi, si Alba.
Lahat naman po, magaganda ng ating mga correspondents. Ayan guys, muli po, kamusta kabayan? Ako po'y mag-update lamang po sa ating World Expo 2020 sa Dubai. And this will commence on October 1 na po. Talaga naman po, ready na po ang gobyerno po ng United Arab Emirates. No? So the show is 7 days a week. They will start on 10 a.m. to 12 midnight every Saturday to Wednesday. And 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. naman every Thursday and Friday during the weekend. And October Pass, meron po silang tinatawag na October Pass. This is limited time offer. So we have to grab this one, no? Get a limited daily access to Expo in October for the price of 1 day only, no? Ang adult price po yan from 18 years old to 59. 1 day, 95 dirhams. That's around 1,300 in peso. So 1 day only on October 1 during the during the opening. So during the opening, and it's limited only. So meron naman po silang pre-pass available for underage 18 years old, mga up to like for example 7 to 17 years old and over 60 years old. And people of determination, yung tinatawag po nilang people of determination, yan po ang mga PWD kumbaga sa atin. So pero yung partner po yan, ang sasama ay 250 dirhams po. So they have also this only 495 for 6 months na po yan. So mas makamura po kayo kung talagang gusto po ninyo mag-enjoy ng 6 months sa World Expo, kuha na po kayo ng only for 495 dirhams. Oh, wow. And meron po silang tinatawag na season pass wherein you can experience the 6 months to enjoy over 191 countries with different things to watch, with their best in art, music, architecture, sports, and wellness, science, and culture, and more. Kasi po ito po yung World Expo, no, sa Dubai na mangyayari. Yeah. And kids and youth, 6 to 17 years old, senior citizens, 60 and above, student and people of determination ay libre po yan. So libre po yan ha. Sa mga gusto po dyan pupunta ng Dubai, mga tourist po natin, open na din po sila para po sa tourist and mga visa po dito. So maluwag na po ngayon ang Dubai. So pwede na po pupunta ng Dubai. No, wala na po silang quarantine. Kailangan lang po ninyo ng PCR pag right after na makarating kayo ng airport. So PCR na po, wala na pong quarantine.
Wow. Let's go to Dubai then.
Maganda po dito, no? From the first last Wednesday po ang aking na-report po ay bumaba po from 1,000. Ngayon po ay nasa 290 na lamang po at pababa na po.
Wow, that's a good news.
So this will commence on October 1 once again despite of the delay. That is supposedly last year, no, 2020, pero due to pandemic, pero na-schedule na po talaga this October 1. Ayan, this is the first World Fair to be held in the Middle East, Expo 2020 Dubai, and open its door for exhibitors from almost 200 countries on October 1. Ayan, registration is going on na. At yun lamang po ang aking update po dito sa United Arab Emirates. Ayan, sa susunod po ay makapag-record na po tayo ng mga clippings during the opening of the World Expo. Maraming salamat at back to you, Madam Sarah Balabangan Serino and Sir Louie Roa. This is me, Joe Kabayan, DJ Daddy Bert ng Abu Dhabi. Maraming salamat. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
Ayan, maraming salamat sa iyo, Kabayan Alberto Arisa. Siya po si Daddy DJ Dimple. Ayan, hanapin niyo po siya sa YouTube. Nandun po siya. And of course, mga kaibigan, meron na po tayong nanalo. At bago po, gusto kong batiin, of course, ang happy birthday si Diday. Ayan, ang ating supporters, kaibigan sa Hong Kong. Si Diday, happy birthday. At si Fe Amor Patrice, sabi niya magandang hapon po sa ating lahat, mga kasara, all watching. Helpline Global, Emilio Aguinaldo, Didi sa Hong Kong, mabuhay, go, go, go. Ayan. Si Inday, sa mga supporters talaga naman dedicated. At syempre po mga kabayan, happy birthday din kay Attorney Bruce Rivera. Ayan, happy birthday, Attorney Bruce. Makakasama din natin siya dito dahil talagang ang puso niya ay para sa mga OFW din. So ayan mga kaibigan.
Si Kuya Yo, kabayan. Happy birthday kay Kuya Yo.
Siyempre, ang ating Kuya Yo.
Happy birthday.
Oo. Ayan, Kuya Yo. Binata na si Kuya Yo. Pwede na mag-asawa daw ko, Ate Flora. Happy birthday, Kuya Yo. And God bless you more and more. Talaga naman sa pag-blessing sa marami. Ayan. At syempre, mga kabayan, Louie, sino ang nanalo?
Ang nanalo po ay ewan ko kung nakikita mo sa'yo, si Joanne. Pero pag sa Amerika, Joanne.
Ayan, si Joanne. Hello, Joanne. Saan ka ba, Joanne? Ayan, meron na tayong nanalo, mga kaibigan, ng 500
Ang sagot niya ay Gcash.
Ha?
Send wave.
Ayan, mga kaibigan.
Nagulat si Dan.
Yan, mga kabayan, ang kailangan yung i-download dito sa America, Canada, UK, saan pa ba, Dan? Anong bansa pa, Dan? Anong bansa?
So, US, Canada, UK, Canada, Spain, Ireland, Italy, Belgium,
and
France. Yep.
You have to pronounce it, kabayan sa Belgium. You have to pronounce it like that. Belgium.
Makaibigan ako sa Belgium. At saka sa Canada. Meron tayong correspondence dyan sa Canada. Next week, makakasama natin pati sa Israel. So parami na po tayo ng parami at abangan natin yung sinasabi kanina ni Amba na ibo-volunteer niya sa New Zealand.
Yes.
Talaga, guys, ang sulok ng mundo ay may Filipino. Ayan, congratulations, Joanne. At salamat sa inyong support, mga kabayan. Sobrang overtime na po tayo, mga kabayan. At again, it's a blessing. Maraming salamat dahil nakasama natin at nakapanayan natin talagang napakabibo ni Amba. Akala ko magiging seryoso ako talagang. Pero
Saka siya, cool na cool. Cool na cool din naman ang ating guest na si Dan Santos. Yes, talaga namang kahit magtagalog siya, talagang pareho sila ni Amba na slang yung Tagalog, di ba?
Oo nga. Akala ko niloloko tayo ni Dan kanina, pero talagang slang pala siya. Nung nakausap ko siya sa phone, one time, natakot ako dahil talagang yung English niya talagang sabi ko, naku, hindi pala ito nagtatagalog, mag-nosebleed ako nito. Kaya binaba ko agad. Sabi ko, okay, medyo. Ayan.
At salamat din sa ating kabayan from, from Abu Dhabi kay Kabayan Alberto Areza sa iyong report at saka sa pag-report mo about Expo, Dubai Expo. Talagang excited na ako dahil pakiramdam ko talaga nakakarating ako ng Dubai, nakakarating ako ng Qatar, nakakarating ako ng UK kapag nakakita ko yung mga video nyo, yung mga reports nyo. And maraming salamat sa ating mga kababayan na nag-antabay sa atin ngayong gabi. I know it's too late and thank you so much Kuya Yo. Overtime na po tayo but maraming salamat po. Ate Sarah, may sasabihin ka pa ba?
Yes, meron pa ako sasabihin sa Saturday. Abangan niyo po mga kaibigan ang pag-resume po ng Sarah 8 o'clock po dito sa Amerika. Sunday, 11 o'clock dyan sa Pilipinas. At yun po, Sarah live po tayo at makikilala niyo po ang ating mga co-host, season co-host. No? Kaya abangan niyo po. At syempre po may mga pag-game din po tayo. No, mga pa-surpresa sa inyo. Kaya abangan niyo po, samahan niyo po kami Saturday, 8 o'clock dito sa Amerika, dyan po sa Pilipinas ay Sunday ng 11 o'clock po ng umaga. Maraming salamat po mga kabayan. At Kabayan Louie, maraming salamat. At of course, Kuya Yo, again, happy birthday. And thank you so much. Sobrang overtime kami. But yes, thank you po.
Thank you so much. Salamat. At dito po sa Kamusta Kabayan, lagi niyo pong tatandaan na hindi kayo nag-iisa. Ayan. Sumakto rin. Okay. Maraming salamat po. Kita-kita po tayo sa Friday, mga kaibigan. Friday, Sigera sa Friday. See you all.
Ayan. Thank you so much. And God bless you all.